risk management is not a new topic, and it's so important to program management and also for Scrum Masters as well, and Agile program management. It's still important that might not be in those frameworks traditionally, but maybe in some program management PMI type structures and papers. But really here, how do you marry the two from using and managing risks within an Agile team, and how can you use it to your advantage? So you're not going to want to miss this video for risk management today.
Dive into the world of risk management, a process that plays a crucial role in every successful project. Think of it as your team's safety net, always there to catch any potential pitfalls or seize golden opportunities. It's a process of identifying, evaluating, and prioritizing risks. This isn't about avoiding risks altogether, but about making smart choices to decrease the likelihood of negative outcomes while increasing the potential for positive ones. It's a delicate balancing act between potential losses and gains, between the expected and the unexpected. In essence, it's about making calculated decisions to benefit your team and project. Now, why is risk management important for team success? Let's delve into a real-life example. Imagine a software development team working on a complicated, time-sensitive project. Halfway through, they stumble upon unexpected coding errors and system glitches, threatening to derail the project and cost valuable resources. But here's where effective risk management comes into play. The team had already identified potential coding and system flaws during their initial risk assessment. They had evaluated the potential impact and had a contingency plan ready to go. Instead of panicking, they adapted, implementing their plan to handle these unexpected glitches. They additional debugging tools, brought in specialized expertise, and adjusted their coding methods, hence kept the project on track.
I want to thank everybody for making it this far in the video. Remember, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, like this video. Continues more content going forward. Now, let's get back into the topic.
This wasn't just problem solving on the fly. It was a result of systematic risk management. They identified the risk, evaluated its potential impact, and planned for when the problem arose, instead of leading to failure, it became just another step on the path to project completion. The team was able to navigate the challenge effectively, manage resources, and deliver a successful software product. As we can see, risk management is not just about avoiding problems, it's about paving the way for success. So, what have we learned about risk management today? It's the process of identifying, evaluating, and prioritizing risks to minimize negative events and maximize opportunities. It's incredibly important to team success, helping to navigate uncertainty and turn potential threats into beneficial outcomes. In our case study, effective risk management turned a potential project failure into a triumph. It's a balancing act, managing resources between high and low probability risks, and it requires vigilance in monitoring and reviewing these risks. Remember, risk management is a powerful tool that can transform potential obstacles into stepping stones for success.
So today we're going to talk about risk management, the practicality side of things. And here I'm showing a Confluence page of a RAID log. And for your teams, you can capture it in other wikis or Word documents or even Excel files. I'm just using Confluence as a practical use case here that many of you might have access to. Also, there's some connections within Jira that you can use to actually have some synergy between what's here and what's also impacting your team. So before I want to start, I want to talk about what's the goal. And I'm sure there's a perfect definition on Google somewhere within the PMI, Program Management Institute. But really, the simplest way I can describe it for those that don't have any experience is capture and resolve events that can hurt a team's outcomes. So that's kind of the overall arching goal of why we do this thing called risk management. And what do we use to do that? A RAID log, which is an acronym that stands for risks, assumptions, issues, and decisions. And these are some definitions of those individual items. So for the R, risk, if something happens, then something else bad will happen. So usually it's impacting scope, budget, or schedule. Assumptions, assuming a fact to be proved, so something that you're assuming that will happen or that won't happen for that team. issues is when a risk is realized. So a risk says if this happens by this date, then this bad thing will happen. Well, that actually happened, right? That can be it. And so something that's incurring and is impeding the team from accomplishing its goals. And the last one is decisions, directions made that impacts the team's work. So sometimes that D can be dependencies, but within Jira, you can actually connect the dependencies. So not really capturing it here because it should be captured in Jira, but really I wanted to take a look at these items as well. So let's take an example of this. And this is more of a program manager type hat, but really it's important as a team that you know that this occurs. And also if you're that leader, that Scrum Master, that program manager, you're able to actually capture it as well. So you can see the first one, I made a risk. And you can see an example of this risk here, right? If this isn't security approval doesn't happen for deploying this software on the customers or even on the developers' laptops by December 20th, then Team Z will not make the product launch date, right? What do we do to mitigate that? Hey, we discussed with the security officer, and this is on November 30th, and so hopefully we'll get that approval. We have an owner, and then we have a due date, right? Those are important as well. So that's kind of like a format of a risk. And then there's an assumption, right? The infrastructure will be deployed by Sprint 4 from Team A by December 18th to host our application. So this is something that we're assuming it's going to happen. And we said we talked to the leadership on this date. And during that meeting, they said, yes, that's going to happen. So we're assuming that's going to happen. Maybe we need some follow-ups, making sure it's confirmed. There's an owner here to follow up and making sure that's documented somewhere, to making sure we're all aligned on that plan. Then there's an issue. So this might have been a risk, right? Maybe there was some date that this needed to be done so the team can test it and test what they're doing or building. And so this is something about PII data. So maybe the team's not able to get PII data, and so they can't understand the data structure to actually build what they're building. So you can see the security officer provided mock data with a simple data structure for testing. J&E must have done that and resolved on December 2nd. And here's a decision. So this was accepted. So maybe you got some conversation and you accepted it. The leadership accepted it. That leadership wanted to use AWS for infrastructure. So here's some notes. The team will plan to use AWS instead of on-prem servers. So that's something that you can see here documented. So in case someone forgets about that or something changes, we can make sure we say, hey, we decided this. So if we do have to make a different decision, then there's going to be something that impacts from our schedule, or our outcomes as a team is going to be impacted. You can see how all of these can be impacted. And also one thing to keep in mind in Confluence, you can link Jira tickets. So it's really cool because you can link Jira tickets within here to get that visibility. So this is one way to do this, but there's another way to do this as well. And I'm going to show it to you with a Kanban board, right? You can see here that here's a simple board, and I created actually different issue types. So you can see this orange one is an issue. You could see this red one's a risk. You can also see this purple one's a decision. So you can see here that maybe this is a board that leadership's looking at, or your Scrum Master or that leader within your team is looking at, and working with leadership to making sure that we're resolving those. So it's important. You can see there's different ways to do it, and this is cool too because you can have owners with it as well. You can move these to different statuses. So I think it's really powerful that you're preaching, but also you're practicing what you're preaching, right? You're doing a Kanban. Well, hey, let's manage this. Let's see how this works. Making sure to have visualization of this work and making sure that we're getting traction on these things, because these things are going to change or impede the outcome of a team. So I hope that helped, and you can see that this workflow you can change as well. So keep that in mind, that this workflow I just created really quickly, but you can always change it, or you can create another issue here. So change it how it works best for you. So I appreciate everyone joining this video. If you like this video, please subscribe, like this video. If you want more content on this will help improve the series. But I really appreciate everyone here today to see the different options you can use within Jira and Confluence to actually manage these risks. And if you need more questions, leave in the comments. See you in the next video.